This is Tony Jeffries and you're watching Sporting Icons.
All right, so this weekend, Anthony Yarde will be taking on the unified light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev, of course, he holds the WBO, the IBF and the WBC at light heavyweight. Does he have Ring Magazine? I don't know. Anyway, so firstly, Anthony Yarde, of course, he's very, very fortunate that he's with Queensberry and he's got this opportunity to have a great relationship with the WBO. You know what? You can't knock it. Okay, this is his second world title fight. Unbelievable. Hasn't become British champion, but he's got this. Fantastic for him. Anyway, who's going to win? How's his fight going to go? Well, Artur Beterbiev, he may well be 38 years old, but it's not like he's got a lot of miles on the clock. It isn't. He's only had, 18 fights, something like that? Knocked out all of them. In fact, he's one of the very few people who's actually put Alexander Usyk on the canvas when they fought as an amateur. So Beterbiev has to be the favourite. Anthony Yarde, he's been beaten by Lyndon Arthur and Sergey Kovalev by the jab. They beat him with the jab. For some reason, he doesn't know how to evade the jab. That's very worrying, but I think a lot of that is down to the level of opposition that Anthony Yarde has faced. He's been fighting a lot of stiffs, a lot of them. But you do have to give him credit. He did go to Russia. He took that challenge. Granted, he earned a few quid out of it for sure. And he put on a great performance in one of those rounds. I forget what round it was. It was round 8 or something? 7? I forgot. He done one round. And again, you see people say how Anthony Yarde, he belongs at that level because of that one round against Sergey Kovalev. Well, what about the rest of them? Now, him losing to Lyndon Arthur, no shame in that. Lyndon Arthur's a very good fighter. But he did beat Lyndon Arthur in the rematch. But I think a lot of that was down to the fact that Lyndon Arthur totally abandoned the game plan from the first fight. Totally abandoned it. If you stand there and trade with Anthony Yarde, you're probably going to come off second best. You are. Now, Artur Beterbiev, he has been on the floor on 2 occasions as a pro, to my knowledge. Of course, the most recent one was against Callum Johnson, where Callum Johnson didn't pounce on him. But he did knock out Callum Johnson, which is Callum Johnson's only loss on his career, wasn't it? I think it was. And of course, by knockout as well. But again, that was Callum Johnson out the ring for quite some time. Anthony Yarde is a big, big puncher. So if he lands on Beterbiev, there's a very real chance Beterbiev will go down. But I give Anthony Yarde a puncher's chance only. And I want Anthony Yarde to win. I really, really want Anthony Yarde to win. I would love if he defeated Beterbiev. Is he going to? I don't think so. This could be an absolute public flogging for Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev has beaten, outboxed, destroyed and then knocked out much, much, much better opponents than Anthony Yarde. Now, that doesn't guarantee Beterbiev is going to beat Anthony Yarde. That doesn't guarantee that at all. It doesn't. I said one punch in boxing changes everything. And wouldn't it be fantastic if Anthony Yarde beats him? That'd be brilliant, absolutely awesome. But it's very unlikely to happen. Very, very unlikely. You have to heavily favour Beterbiev. And as I said before, it could be a public flogging, an absolute bloodbath. And I do expect to see Anthony Yarde out cold on the floor. If he can get knocked out by a jab from Kovalev, imagine what that right hand of Beterbiev is going to do. Artur Beterbiev is better with his jab than Kovalev and Lyndon Arthur. And he couldn't cope with their jab. And he punches a lot more spitefully than Kovalev and Lyndon Arthur as well. I think Anthony Yarde could be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. But I do worry though, what happens if Anthony Yarde gets badly hurt in this fight? I think some questions have to be asked. The fact that they guided him very, very carefully to get this opportunity for a second time at a world title without really earning it. Let's be honest, he hasn't really earned it because he hasn't beaten those around him. He hasn't cleaned up domestically. He hasn't cleaned up Europe. He hasn't been in eliminators and all that kind of stuff. He hasn't. You don't lose to a Lyndon Arthur, beat Lyndon Arthur in a rematch and then get a world title shot pretty much straight after you lose to Kovalev. So what if he gets badly hurt? That's a horrible look. Anyway, hopefully that don't happen. Hopefully Anthony Yarde gets to win. As I said, hopefully he does. But outside of a puncher's chance, I can't see it. Genuinely, I can't see it. Love to be wrong though. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.